This summer, I was asked to help write and create the new District Physical Education and Health Student Learning Target Test, which is called an SLT test. Mr. Peete, the high school supervisor for PE and health for the district, asked 3 people to serve on the committee to create the PE and health SLT test. Coach Daniel, a PE/health teacher, Coach Perry, a PE teacher, and myself, also a PE teacher, met at the school board office on consecutive days to prepare the health and PE test. The SLT tests are used district-wide as a tool to measure student performance. All areas of content give SLT tests in Louisiana. Each test should consist of 30 multiple-choice questions. 3 different SLT tests are given to students throughout the year for the full year courses like PE. In the case of health classes, which are half-credit classes, only 2 SLT tests will be given during the semester. Each of the SLT tests are different. They cover different content that is set in the state's curriculum, content guide for its respective subject area. The first SLT test, pretest, which is a pretest, gives teachers baseline data to understand how much content knowledge the student has in that particular subject before they are ever taught anything in the class. The second test is given in December to measure students' growth. As I said earlier, in the case of the health class SLT test, the second test would be the final SLT test, and it is given to determine growth. The third SLT test, which is given in full year courses like PE, is given in April to measure the total growth and progress in students. Each SLT test score is recorded in an Excel document spreadsheet. The scores are put in an SLT calculator made by the state given to the districts. The SLT calculator shows which students met their attainment levels and which students did not. According to the State Department, each student must show at least a 20% growth from the first baseline data SLT to the final SLT. SLT tests have become a large portion of teacher evaluation system in Louisiana public schools. If 80% of a teacher's students do not show a 20% growth throughout the year, a teacher is considered ineffective in the SLT component of the evaluation system. For the health SLT test, 80% of a teacher's students must show 20% growth during the duration of the half-credit course, which would be considered 1 semester. During these meetings, we collaborated on which parts of the PE and health curriculum should be included in the SLT test. Though we all have a basic PE and health content knowledge, each person within the group brought different ideas to collaborate on. Coach Perry's strengths are ball sports, volleyball, basketball, and badminton. Coach Daniel is the health teacher in the group, so he knows all of the standards for health that must be met. My area of strength is the physical fitness component of PE. Weight training, cardiovascular activities, CPR, first aid, and the use of the AED machine. During these meetings, we made a total of 5 SLT tests, 3 PE and 2 health. You will view a small section of one of the meetings I attended to collaborate on the PE and health SLT test.
Today is about, I guess, an alignment of SLTs. I don't remember some of you last year, but at the end, probably somewhere in maybe in September, October, we met as a PE consortium, a few of them to kind of run some processes of what we would do with PE SLTs and health SLTs. Came up with some things that we decided on pretty much at the end, and move forward from there. Well, today we're going to start a process a whole lot earlier. Actually, we do have a guideline or a basis of how we're supposed to fall as far as the district. Okay, we'll make sure that whatever we're doing, PE and health falls into what the district is asking for as an alignment with us, with the SLT and the SLTs for PE and health. Okay, and I'll start with the first thing. The first piece of the alignment is we're going to have to do a test. Now, for health, there would be a problem. I think the SLT that we agreed upon last year was a written test for health. PE, I think we agreed or we accepted the universal screener, the physical fitness for there, and we kind of went with that. We're going to stay along those same bases, but Mr. Campbell wants all of the health and the PE to pretty much have a written test as well. Okay, so everyone, no matter whether you're doing the physical fitness part of it, we're still going to have a written test, but we're going to have 3 checkpoints. And we'll talk about those parameters of the SAT later on. If you've been hearing the buzz about the district common assessments, well, the district common assessments is part of the SLT process, where you're having an initial test, which we're doing it with our SLT. We have we traditionally do initial test and then post-test or a final test. Well, we're going to have a checkpoint test as well. Okay, now the checkpoint test will work for PE, because if you're, how many of you are health teachers? Okay, 2 of you are health teachers. Well, because you end in a semester, we're not looking at a checkpoint test for you. We're looking at an initial test and a final test. Okay, now, okay, and we'll talk about that. What happens when we get kids in the middle of the year when it comes down to the SLT process? Okay, not with what you're doing with in general, but strictly with the SLT process, because we do have something in place for those kids as well. Okay. All right. So in that process with the health, there will be no midpoint check. Mid checkpoint for you. You will have an initial test and post-test or final test. All right, now the thing about this is all 3 tests should be different. The process should be the same, but all 3 of them are different. So what you're here today is we're here to pretty much discuss the procedures that you traditionally use, kind of merge them and see how can we fit what you traditionally used into the alignment of this process. How do we have 3 different tests or 2 different tests teaching the same thing or pretty much or similar to the same processes. And whatever we come out with, this is what's going to be used in high school for the district. Okay, so we leave here for these 2 days. The idea is we leave with a process that everybody in high school will follow for PE and okay. Any questions so far? Okay, this is what I'm going to do. What I did was I printed what we did last year. Okay, when we did meet, some of the things that we went over last year, I printed that, so I'm going to give that to you. And I'm giving this to you pretty much as a point of reference for you to, because we're not here to start over completely. We're here to take some processes that we already have and merge those into place. what you have in front of you are 3 different tests, 3 different keys, some of the things that we kind of used and put together last year. Okay? All right, go ahead and take a few minutes, look at that, and Ms. Laybear go through and who you want to start? Yeah, we'll go through, she'll go through the process, she'll explain the process that the district has been using, and then we'll talk about how we're going to do our piece with some flexibility because we are, because it is different for PE and health. And we do have some flexibility in what we're going to do from the district, but we're going to try to align to the district as much as possible.
Good morning. These are the things, whenever we did SLTs last year, we realized there were a lot of places we were kind of all over the place. We wanted to refine as much as we could. So as a district, there were some parameters that everybody has to follow. One of them is the number of questions. It can't be more than 30. So as a high school department, we are saying all of our SLT assessments will be 30 questions. And the reason for that is we have a calculator that we're going to use. It's an Excel spreadsheet. And if you have a 25 question or whatever, the calculator won't work. And what we found last year, we had, I don't know if you all remember the calculator, what it looked like, but there were several tabs at the bottom of the one we used. And people that weren't quite as good at Excel or used to it, they'd open up the calculator, and whichever one opened, they'd put their stuff, and it was wrong because they had 30 questions, and they're in the 55 question calculator. So this year it's pretty simple. This is the only thing. There's an ACT one, and there's a 30 question. That's all we have in high school. That's it. So that's what this is saying. The multiple choice, the ideal way to do it is to come up with a pool of questions, and then that pool will be used for the 3 assessments, which is what Mr. Keith said. The assessment should measure the same thing 3 times, the same skills, so that it's fair. The pre, the mid, the post should measure the same skills. There'll be 3 checks. Menu of choices, only if you teach the same thing all day would you split, like if you're a health teacher and that's all you teach all day, you would split the health classes into a high and a low group. Otherwise, you would have 2 different subject areas for your SLTs. So you have to have 2. The in-service would be the place where information would be redelivered to everybody. And then the shells, I'll show you those in a second. Y'all remember how you have to write the SLT, that blue thing from the state? We're calling those shells because we feel like, I see you have it on your clipboard. That's an easy way for the teachers. We pretty much make it turnkey. Everything's done except for the pieces of the data that the teacher has to put. We want to make it as simple as possible. So that's why we call them shells, and I have a sample I can show you. The goals, ACT is 60% and all others are 70. We did ACT 60 because that's a really hard one to choose for your SLT, so therefore attainment is a little bit lower. Procedure, that's kind of different. That's what a consultant. I'm not sure how y'all want to do the class sets. Our consultants are sending sets of the test. They're sending them to print shop, and depending on the size of the school is getting X number of class sets of the test. A software high might get 4 or 5. Starts might only get 1. That's just how they're doing it so that they can be rotated to try to help the teachers with copies. We talked about Scantron sheets, but we can't afford to buy that for everybody. But it could be if the teacher wants to use Scantron, to scan it in the machine to store it. Where our consultants were saying you could use one sheet twice. You could do 1 through 30 for test 1 on the front and then flip it. The back could be a new key as well. So you could get 2 tests out of 1 Scantron if your school will provide that for you. Okay. We have some spreadsheets that has the 30 question. I'll show you those in a second. So this is all the SLTs. This is what the calculator is going to do. Growth is 20% of the raw score. The others are doing percents of percents. We're doing raw numbers in high school. So if you make a 15, it's 20% growth of 15 correct, not 50%, you need 70% now. Our calculator's different from elementary and middle. It's very good this year. The one that Matt Ryan, who made it for us, he does everything. Like it's way better than what we had last year. 80% or higher. Once a student gets 80%, and it was 85 last year, we lowered it to 80. If you get 80% right, you're a yes, or you mean the student met the SLT. So if they get 85 on a test and they drop to 80, they're still yes. Even though they decline, it's still yes, because they're at the threshold at the high level. So that's the answer to people about, what about my good kids, what about my smart kids? That takes that into account. And then there's 3 checkpoints. You have to get 70% of the kids to be what we call a yes. In other words, meet the goal of 20% growth. And then there's the rating. That's the skills. Test. See how it did a goal for me? The goals are 24. Now field 2 doesn't do anything. See how nothing happened? The field 3. Field 3 says yes or no if they met the goal. See how it threw the goal there, they met a 25. And then with the calculator, this one's not the new one, but the calculator is counting it for you. And at the very top, it'll tell you you're a 2, you're a 3. It counts the yeses and it does everything.
It's all based off of a 30-question test?
It's all from a 30-question test. Now the only thing is we're going to have 2 types, see multiple choice 1, 2. Because our teachers, like if you're biology, you do biology and environmental science, let's say. This is the only tricky thing. We have ACT too. You've got to make sure people don't open the ACT one, because that one's different. So this one's just for yours.
So our physical part of it makes it relevant.
It's still physical part is. Because if you're PE, you're going to do, what we're saying is you need 2 SLTs.
Right.
Okay, one of them can be written, and the other one can be physical.
On the same information though.
Right. But I'm not.
One's written and one is physical, like sit-ups.
Just like last time, but it's, okay, I understand.
But the sit-ups you can't put in there. That won't fit, because it's not 30 questions.
So you're just saying use it as your 2 different SLTs instead of like having your physical fitness test is one and then doing like, I don't know, heart rate as a whole nother. So you don't think of a whole nother area.
Exactly.
So y'all might do volleyball for
one part, right. One part of it, one part of your physical fitness test, you're going to decide what components you're going to use like you did last year. That's going to be the physical. That will represent one SLT. Your other SLT will be written, which we're going to discuss.
Of the same information.
Doesn't have to be the same information. No. That written piece is, that's what we're going to discuss. We haven't gotten to that point yet. But we'll discuss what do you want that written test to look like for PE. What are you teaching in PE? You're not just teaching basketball all the way. You're teaching, I don't know, I've never been a PE teacher, so I don't know what you teach all year long, but I'm assuming that you're not doing basketball. You may do basketball, you may do volleyball, you may do,
The girls and boys, I think it's like different too.
Right.
The girls don't want to do it.
right, so that's something that we're going to have to, that's something we're going to have to discuss of what's going to be the universal written test that we're going to teach for PE the entire year. So what everyone can live with, because that's what your kids are going to be tested. That's what that written test is going to be. Physical piece, you can pretty much isolate it to what's working for you at your school.
So everybody would have to teach that unit. If y'all pick volleyball, everybody's got to do volleyball.
Right.
Whatever y'all choose.
Because that's what they're going to be tested. That's what they're going to see the test on.
And it has to be all over the same information. But do we need different questions?
Yeah, well, because you're going to have 3 different tests. So
They
really,
do the same thing, but they could mix them maybe.
so we're going to need 90 questions?
You could mix them. I know the ones that are very skill-based, they're mixing it. Depends on the subject. Somebody like Sandra Como, let's say in the OA, okay, she can't give the same reading passage 3 times. They're going to remember that. But she's going to give a poem with the same kind of question for every poem 3 times. But for y'all, you could maybe get a pool of questions, because you don't want to ask different skills. That's what they say is not fair. But you could mix them. You know what I'm saying, do 30 questions
Could you
in 3 times a
reword
week.
a same question, like to make it,
You could.
Whatever
do
you're doing
that.
volleyball, the information, I mean,
The same 30.
there's only so much
So much
information.
I don't think you
that-
could get 90 questions.
No, there's no way.
So you could do 30 and just mix them up is what I would do. You know, don't get the same order 3 times. The kids don't memorize.
Right.
Teachers don't get them to
Or
memorize.
if we're doing groups, let's say our bank consists of basketball, volleyball, bowling, and you also have that we did last year, because we're still going to have to do that according to Act 517. We're still going to have to have that AED, CPR section in there, so you can include some of those questions inside there. What's something else that you teach? Badminton.
Ping pong.
Okay, ping pong. So that's like 6 things right there. So out of those 6 things, you're coming up with a group of questions. Okay. Now, only 30 of them will be used for the first test, 30 of them for the second test, 30 of them for the third test. But you're going to cover all of the information. And those are all the things that you're doing. And so your initial test, you might have 5 volleyball. I mean, you might have a total of, 10 questions in volleyball, but the first test you use 3. Okay. The second test you
Okay.
use another 3.
yeah.
And the third test you use a different 3 of those.
Well, if we said 6 sports, that pretty much everybody can teach.
To teach, right.
Then if you look at 15 questions per
Per
sport,
sport, that's your bank.
5 per sport on each day.
Right. That's your bank.
Like what y'all might want to do if you're going to do that is give like you don't want to give them the answers, but maybe a list of key skills that you need to cover in volleyball. Here's a list of key concepts for badminton. Just like a quick handout for them to know they covered it, so that they know it's coming up on the assessment. That would be a fair way to do it. That's a lot of different pieces. Y'all do all of them, and they want to be sure they cover all those sports.
So we're gonna make our own test this year.
Yes.
We're not gonna have somebody send us one.
So you are, you're the senders.
Yeah.
You're making it.
Yeah.
You're the senders.
Oh.
You're the
That's why
sender
you're
of the
here.
test. That's why you're
Oh,
here.
yeah, because one of them last year was wrong.
Yeah. No, you're the maker. That's one of the
Well,
things we
that's
don't
not
want.
the right answer.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's
You're the
why we're
creators.
here. Again, we started so late, and all we did was we had a group that just came up with something, and because we had to align, we used that to align.
Right.
So this year, we're early enough to make sure if it's wrong,
Right.
we have adjusted or fixed it. But this is why you're here.
So maybe as y'all come up with the questions, you can also make a list of a quick, like I said, key point, and that could go out to your PE teachers. You know what I'm saying? Like, here are the key points for your SLTs. Be sure you cover all this in volleyball, all this. But you're not giving them the exact questions. That would
But
be
you guys are
the
both, right? You're not
I'm being both.
Which is
So
good.
y'all doing a health test and a PE test?
Yes, doing a health test and a test for the SAT. Now, the other thing to consider in health as well is because we are putting forth this effort to teach, to certify our students as CPR. That's something that you could use in here. The only thing is, we don't have that exam or that test that you're going to have because you haven't gone through that training, so you don't know what that looks like. So if we're trying to put together this bank of tests, it may not include those specific, but it could include, and I do have that too, that unit on the on the unit on the CPR AED that we all agreed to do to teach. It has that, so you could incorporate that inside your bank of questions as well, if you want to use that as a part of your health SAT.
But we're not teaching the CPR, AED.
Yes, you still have to. And the thing is, yes, no. In health, you are actually certifying them. They're getting credentialed. In PE, the only thing the state said, we had to introduce CPR and the AED machine. You're not teaching them. You're introducing, or you're informing them, or you're giving them some unit. We still have that requirement to do. But it's the health we're actually teaching them CPR, certifying them CPR. So when they're done, they're going to receive their card.
And that's all part of Jumpstart. That's one of the credentials that Jumpstart will accept is the CPR. So that's kind of why we're pushing it too. Jumpstart, I don't know if y'all looked at Jumpstart very much, but most of the kids are going to need 3 credentials to be able to graduate. And that'll be one of the 3. So it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. We think that the CPR, pretty much all kids
They should be able to get it. Yeah. Some of the others, it's a little harder for them to get it. And here's a tentative timeline, y'all. Some of this stuff's still pending because we don't have the dates from the state. But I heard y'all talking about like when we add students and when we don't. Like I have October 5th last day to add students. If y'all need laptops to get on the internet, there are laptops in the cart. If y'all can, if you need to search something.
I have a question. Do you already have some SLT templates that high school, subject area specific, have already filled out?
You're talking about that one I pulled up a while ago, the blue, the one she had?
I have it.
This right here?
Is that specific to our subject area?
It's PE. This is what we did on last year with school knowledge, which we have
Okay.
to test to. But I was wondering if we could take some of that out if y'all wanted to and put in some of the, we have some from that we done a while back on circuit training and heart rate and all of the presidential fitness test stuff. I have it here with their rubrics and how to score them. If y'all want to look at that, it's just real simple and it's easy to use and it fits.
You're talking about for the physical fitness test?
For the questions to put in, the questions part, if y'all want to add some, because I know that there was some information on pickleball. I mean, I was like,
We're not going to play.
guys, really?
That
Whatever.
special stuff equipment.
Well, I was looking, I'm going to,
I can't.
Most PE departments can't afford to buy.
Yeah, y'all need to consider equipment. You could end up with 2 sports and do 15 and 15. I mean, I don't have to do
Right. So, anyway, if y'all want to, I do have some questions from, just before we start, go over this.
Right.
What do y'all think are the most common sports everybody teaches?
Well, we're supposed to, it's supposed to be like lifetime sports, things that they can do as they age. So any, like circuit training, I do that
I do that too,
yeah.
and they like that.
They like that. I do a little bit of weight training, but just basic.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, it's mostly badminton,
See, mine like volleyball.
volleyball, basketball.
Yeah, basketball. Occasionally, they'll do soccer for me, but if it gets too much going on, do that game. But,
Like, we don't play basketball, but games because, you know, if they break it down, they have to go to the doctor.
exactly.
Yeah, so we can't even really play anymore, but we do like, you know, the proper way to shoot a ball.
But that's the thing, we can write down the rules and make a test from it and everything's good.
Exactly.
So we can do that.
Even a lot of definitions with offense and defense.
And we can have true false, correct?
Well, it could be, you just want, if somebody wants to do it on a Scantron, it should be, you should be able to do that. Scantron, true could be A, false could be B. So yeah, you could.
See, I was told that we couldn't have.
You can, as long as it ends up being,
And then,
yeah, and you know, 1 through 5 could be multiple choice, whatever it could be, true, false.
okay.
Well, if I'd have known, I didn't even realize
yeah, I would have
good
brought
information. Yeah,
You got some.
I could have, yeah, we got tests, and we could have just brought them all, but I didn't realize it.
Yeah, y'all were the test first. Or the district. Hey.
I know, looks like that's common.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my, you are too. Sure. That you didn't get me?
You are both then?
Yeah.
High school? I'm with Orange. That's it.
So, yeah, you can't just run off with stuff. I can't, anyway.
Okay, well,
We could maybe use some of the stuff that they have here and just combine. Design questions is a lot of questions.
Y'all want to go through the tests they have?
We're going to test that. That's aggravating because I guarantee you, like, what the golf coaches want to do here, isn't wrong with it.
Well, and that's what happened, but here's the deal, the launch coaches are not here, and they had the opportunity to come,
Yeah, sure.
and you didn't show up. So, my deal is, well, I'm PE all day, I'm PE all day, so my deal is that when they talk about football and all that, I'm only girls too, I mean, we're seven.
Right, we are too.
No,
We are too,
okay.
yes.
And so honestly, I don't know if it's supposed to, but we never touch it with our do y'all?
No, we never do either. And a couple of years back, I don't know if they still enforce it, even like the flag, the girls basketball, they said no more girls basketball in years. We can't play the full program because of the insurance thing, because they knew. Yeah. And it was my understanding that football too.
We have to do basketball and they're just, well, we can't do dodgeball anymore because they cut all that out because he got so rowdy every time.
Yeah, and they just don't want people getting injured. Because they got so,
It's scary.
yeah.
Okay, well, I think y'all want to go through the physical education test first and highlight the ones we want to
We
keep.
want to keep, yeah. I mean, some of them.
What are sports that we think that pretty much we're all going to...
I mean, do y'all do golf?
I don't either, but the one about, you know, is how many holes long, anybody should really know that. You know, to me.
Yeah, I know, but can they go catch us on not covering it? When are we going to
That's
cover
true,
it?
that's true.
Okay, so let's take that out.
Is the, we use for that, PPE, that AED-CPR thing. That's something that, y'all want use of a computer or laptop or anything like that? I have pen drives if you want. Eventually, maybe.
So I think Mr. Pete, what we're going to do is, we're going to go through and take some of this out that we never will cover. We can tell them and we test on it, but we'll never cover it. And then go in and we'll have some stuff when we did circuit weight training. I have some questions and answers and add that in because they both do that as well.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Do you want that? Because all that stuff that I printed to you, all I did was print that electronically. I had it electronically. I can put that on so you're not actually like, you can create one test bank already electronically from that, just pull those together. So I can give that to you.
So we can do it here and just until we start.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's something
Y'all
that's a
like to do
process
that?
that
That would probably be easier.
Right, instead of going through like this
Instead of
and
going
then having to
through
retype.
because yeah, if you don't have I'm saying not retype. I don't think you're going to retype.
No, I mean, I would only do it if you have that.
Yeah, okay. This laptop here, we can use, actually we can use this one.
Are y'all great typers? Quick typers?
So all you're doing is just cutting and pasting. I mean, you're cutting or you're leaving, right?
Okay,
Yeah. Is there a plug right there? You see?
there's a part right there.
So I'll put all of those tests right there. I'll put them on the pen drive. I'll put those questions as well, the CPR. I'll put all of them on the pen drive so you can kind of copy paste whatever.
Okay.
You're not.
So we can add some stuff like all this, I know, and I'm like, oh,
Yes,
wish I'd have brought
right.
junk because I could have just, but that's okay, we can type it.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, I just didn't realize it was important. I would have brought a bunch of stuff too.
It's okay, I feel good about it. Alright, so, can you pull that up for me? Oh, okay.
So we don't want golf at all.
So we're Xing out 1 through 6 for sure.
Yeah.
7.
Now, do y'all teach tennis there? I teach tennis. We don't have a tennis court, and
We don't either.
We had one close, but they wouldn't let me go there.
Oh, y'all are.
Yeah, we're in the same.
Okay.
No, seriously, I did.
Yeah, I did that.
We did do that when we have the whole equipment we have when we do it.
I think a lot of people do that.
Do
So
that?
1 through 11 is out. Said and make the 30 and then just switch them. Yeah, change them.
I just don't think it's necessary.
I don't even.
And I'm telling you, with what they have, and I did bring some other questions if y'all want to add the circuit way training, if y'all want to do that.
Well, I plan on doing 4 sports, and then a physical fitness, physical weight training, and then the CPR and the stuff. Let's get 15 to each. But my deal is, everybody can do physical fitness. Everybody's supposed to be doing CPR and AED. Those 4 sports. Basketball for sure.
Basketball we can all
That's the
do.
easiest one for everybody.
Boys, they play, I know, I watch them play volleyball.
Yeah.
They play volleyball, we can do volleyball. So,
Or sand courts and stuff, there's a lot of time for it.
we're going to do badminton. Even, I don't think our boys do it, but I mean, they do now.
Yeah.
Just at least for a couple days to get your point across.
Right.
And
There's one more sport. Softball's pretty easy. Jimmy neutral because that goes and stuff.
Well, and if we do wiffle ball, and I use softball rules, so they
same with us.
actually.
Let's do that.
I think that's pretty easy for everybody.
Yeah.
Alright.
Because how much does it cost to go buy a wiffle set?
Right.
So we're going to do softball.
If you can get some old softball, put it in your softball.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Softball, basketball, volleyball. And what was the other one we said?
Physical fitness, CPR.
No, the other,
Badminton.
about it.
And I've actually got some more questions.
So softball, basketball, volleyball, badminton.
Okay, and then CPR, I have weight training. We're going to be fine. Alright.
You can get 15 questions from all of those. You can make it questions.
Okay, so number 7.
All the way through 11. You can't do it. That's 10. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll start badminton.
Yeah.
So that's yes. Y'all do that. We're not doing that.
And I got more questions for all the tests.
Will you bring that tomorrow, maybe?
If I can get on my age right now, I think so. Is that his
Y'all, what about these, on 23, 24, 25, do y'all teach any of that? The,
That's all
we do. Yeah, it is. Let's use that. So, okay, and then, so we're only using 1, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these, so we have 9 from this test. And then we have,
It's 14, huh? We're starting at a 12.
Oh, but we're not using the ball.
but we're taking out all the bowling. Physical
Oh,
education
okay.
test.
Yeah.
It's 9, correct? Am I right? Okay. Alright, so we're using mathematics. And then we could get some true false from this just right here. Yeah, and that would be simple for true false.
Right.
Oh yeah, we can get 15 on all of this.
I know, this is a ton of information. And then on this, the circuit weight training, I have the test, and I can email, well, I don't know. true boss. What is this?
Before attending the SLT test meeting, I was a little anxious because the task we were asked to collaborate on was of high importance to the district and to the PE and health department teachers. I wanted to be sure and include all the important components and standards that PE teachers and health teachers should be covering in their respective curriculums throughout the year. I felt that each person in the meeting felt a large responsibility to give their best effort and input. Normally, when we have these meetings at the school board office, there are computers and printers readily available, so no one in the group brought their own laptops. Mr. Pete, the high school director and supervisor, assumed we all would have our laptops, so he did not have the computers ready to use, which slowed the process down on the first day. However, once Mr. Pete located laptops and we were able to connect, and we were much more equipped to handle the task. First, we decided on each component we thought should be used on the PE SLT test. Volleyball, basketball, softball, and badminton were the ball sports that were chosen. Weight training and cardiovascular activities were selected as components on the physical fitness area of PE. The components that we selected correlated with the state PE standards. When deciding what content to use for the health SLT test, we reviewed the state standard as well. We chose strategies related to health promotion and disease prevention, positive health behaviors and reduced health risk, family and community health, CPR, first aid, and the use of the AED machine. During the meetings, each person in the group worked hard and made contributions toward their specific area of strength in either PE or the health content. Coach Perry researched quality PE questions and standards that referenced rules, procedures, and proper techniques for the ball sports. Coach Daniel researched quality health content questions that applied to the standards being taught by all health teachers in the district. I researched the physical fitness component of PE to find the best overall questions and statements that the students should be taught in the PE classes. I also helped Coach Daniel research first aid, CPR, and the AED machine use because that is an area of strength for me as well. Each SLT test must be 30 multiple choice questions. We spent a great amount of time gathering statements and questions on each subject. We collaborated together well in the group. The group effort was strong and it had a positive energy. We all helped each other in any way that we could. With that being said, we all have our weaknesses. Coach Perry likes hard copies of everything she was working on, which made it difficult because she printed out all of her information on ball sports. Once she had hard copies of her information, she began to deconstruct and make SLT questions written by hand. I felt she was doing double work and taking more time than was necessary. However, it was the only way she was comfortable working. Coach Daniel, on the other hand, was very tech savvy and utilized the computer to locate all of his information, and he typed his health SLT questions directly into the Word document. Because Coach Daniel was so efficient with the computer, he would get done more quickly than Coach Perry and myself, and sometimes we felt pushed to rush and hurry through the process. I am by no means tech savvy. I have basic computer skills, so it took me a little longer to complete tasks than Coach Daniel. However, I used the computer to gather information and formulate questions using a Word document. Once all the questions were made for the PE and Health SLT test, I combined the questions into a test format. Coach Daniels sent his questions of the SLT test via email, which was easy for me. It was just a matter of copying and pasting. Coach Perry had her questions handwritten, so it was much more time consuming because I had to type all of her questions and put them into a test format. Overall, I was honored to be chosen by Mr. P to help write the district PE and Health SLT test. There were many positives about this experience. I enjoyed the people I worked with in the group, and I felt that we worked well together to achieve a great end result. There are some things, given the opportunity again, that I would change. First, there was a miscommunication between us, the teachers, and Mr. Pete, the supervisor. As we understood it, we were going to the meeting to select questions from a pool of pre-made PE and Health SLT questions. We did not realize until we were informed at the meeting by Mr. Pete that we would actually be making the questions and constructing the PE and Health SLT test for the district. Because of the misunderstanding, we did not come to the meeting prepared, so the process was slower than it could have been. Also, it would have been beneficial if Coach Perry could have used the computer to create her test questions and emailed them to me. It would have been a large time saver. However, she worked very hard and constructed quality questions, and that is what she was asked to do. I would definitely take part in making another district PE and Health SLT test again if the opportunity arises. It was a positive learning experience for me.